We had a really amazing 3-month time frame candle close yesterday, and I just want to tell people what this means. The meaning is really important. Basically, yesterday's candle, the 3-month candle, we closed. This is on Max, but we closed at 9.1 cents. The launch price is 9 cents. When you close at 0.91 cents, that means that people are willing to hold their TRVL above 9 cents. That's what it means. It means they're not selling into the next candle, they're holding into the next candle. So everyone who accumulated in this whole lower range was willing to hold their TRVL into the next candle at above 9 cents. The meaning is really important. Yeah, we can't lose sight of the meaning of a close above a really important level, which is the launch price, which is the 9 cents mark. Okay, doesn't mean we're not going to get a pullback, and pullbacks in the markets are very healthy. Okay, but the meaning of that close is very important. We had this is the highest close that we've had. Let me have a look. This is the highest close that we've had on a 3-month candle since the launch. Yeah, this is Gate. You can see that on Gate, on the launch, we closed at 28 cents. I think on MEX is pretty much similar, about 28 cents. Yeah, so they're all the same. Obviously, KuCoin is different because it launched slightly later, so you don't have that initial launch close. But in the whole of this, chart, from its inception to now, this is the highest 3-month close that we've had. That's a really powerful signal. And when you look at the volume, it's backed with volume. It isn't a low volume rise, it's a increasing volume rise. So it's a genuine healthy rise. Yeah, this candle is legit. Like, that's what I see. It's a real interest in this token. People are holding, and you've got a lot of interest, increasing interest in this token, in TRVM. Okay, it's the highest close except for launch. Yeah, and if you think of the context of when TRVL launched, we launched at the end of the Bitcoin bull market when everything was crashing. You see, this initial launch candle closed at December 21. Yeah, and if I was to go to Bitcoin to December 21, here, look at it. It was a massive sell-off, and then it was followed by a dump. Okay, it was a massive sell-off in Bitcoin, and effectively this token launched where Bitcoin peaked with the second all-time high. Okay, you see that was when this coin launched. And when you're looking at here, this is when Bitcoin dropped the first time, and this second candle was the dump, was the Bitcoin dump. Okay, this is the highest close we've had. This is a really powerful bullish reversal candle. We've come back above 9 cents. We're kind of underneath it now, but you buy these candles. Yeah, you don't buy the top, you scale into these candles. These are the candles that you scale into. You wait for effectively what you do is you wait for red candles to end. As soon as you get a green candle, you start buying because you see the selling has stopped. Now that we're seeing continuation with the buying, you'd scale into that. You would scale into these green candles, and until the price finally reaches its destination. No one can predict that, We can speculate it, but we can't predict it. And again, you see this monthly candle is a really powerful, strong candle close. Okay. On all of these charts, it's powerful. You see on gate, we actually closed above the wick into this monthly level. On KuCoin, look, we closed above the wick. Again, it's a strong close, really strong close, just underneath this previous monthly level. I think Bybit was slightly lower. Okay, but pretty much saying the same thing. And what's interesting is that we had a strong close on all of the charts above 9 cents. It's really powerful signal. What does that mean? I think it means that we're about to see the final correction. Yeah. And no one can predict the correction. No one knows how far and deep it's going to be. We're still in an uptrend. You know, the idea of this Adam and Eve pattern hasn't been invalidated. We have a nice sharp V here, and we have a really nice rounding bottom here. We're still in that idea. And potentially what we're experiencing now is the final dip. The final dip. In the next 2 to 3 weeks, we may be experiencing the final dip on TRVL before we take the next level up. That will be a higher high on the weekly time frame. And then effectively, you'll be completing the next stage of this Wyckoff accumulation. And I'm actually, honestly, I'm thinking my next target, my next higher time frame target is the 28 cents mark. I think after a powerfully strong candle like this, why would we not pull back a little bit and then push up to 28 cents? Where would that be? That would be here. Maybe 30 cents here. That's what I'm kind of aiming for. Next candle. Let's take it. Let's go all the way up there, if possible. Okay. I'm not foreseeing a red candle, to be honest with you. I'm not foreseeing a next 3-month red candle. I don't know what the monthly candle is going to look like. If it is a red candle, it would be a very nice place to buy, but I'm not actually foreseeing I'm not foreseeing a drop below this wick here. Probably somewhere around here. I'm thinking somewhere like there, just where this candle divides. And the reason why I'm thinking maybe that's as far as we can go, and who knows, like we're back into the weekly level now. If we do pull back that far, this is Mexa. Let me go back to KuCoin. No one knows how this is going to correct. Yeah, no one knows how this is going to behave. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, we do have a pullback. I think the back testing this GAN would be an area of interest for me. Back testing this GAN and then kind of back testing a local golden pocket. And I think that would, for me, that would coincide with, on the 3-month time frame, coming back into the top of this area here, just to kind of fill the gap before continuation. That's normal, you know, when candles go up, they kind of come back to find support before they continue. That's all that I'll be looking for in the price action. So yesterday we had a nice buy up. That's strength. And you know, I don't know what's going to happen here. Could this just not, could this just find support here? I don't know. Yeah, and the problem is that everything is a reaction to Bitcoin at the moment. And I don't know, people are like maybe market selling, but it's not the right strategy for a token like this. The strategy is to buy the dips, buy the dips, buy the dips. When people want to sell, they have to sell higher up, where there's a lot more interest and a lot more liquidity in the token. And probably when it's on launching on more exchanges, so the volume has increased. So if you do set orders to sell, you don't have to market sell to get your orders filled. You can just set limit orders at the current price and you can get your fills. Yeah, right now people are trying to get filled, and that's why they're market selling, because they think that the only way to get filled is to market sell, because the volume is still, relatively speaking, quite low. And so they want to fill, and so they're selling at market. But in doing so, the price moves by 8%. This is all low volume. This isn't high volume drops. This is on KuCoin, 84,000 tokens. Yeah, 84,000 tokens, and the price of the token drops 4%. That's really low volume. If you think about it, it's not the correct way to sell. And the only reason that the price is moving and behaving this way is because the volume is low. Okay, but the strategy when the volume is low is to buy, is to keep on buying the dips, not to sell, until eventually, when you look at the overall higher time frame, you see that we're making, this is basically bullish continuation and bullish market structure. Eventually, when we get to higher prices, I think the volume will increase significantly, and then it'll be a lot easier to sell without market selling. I don't think it's a good strategy if people are selling right now. There's no reason to panic. Look at that. Now, maybe some people are thinking, okay, I can sell now and I can buy back low. Yeah, that's always possible. But I think people would only do that if they're all in. Like if you've got money, if you're not all in, you don't need to do that, because you can always buy the dip. And then when your price goes up, you can rebalance your portfolio so you still have fiat without moving the price to the downside. That would be a much better strategy. But we've only just begun. I mean, Bitcoin hasn't halved. And I really think this is a really important, something really important happened yesterday, is because Bitcoin, before the Bitcoin halving, TRVL managed to close above 9 cents, which is the launch price. I never really expected that, to be honest with you. I wasn't really thinking when I started streaming back in December and before December, when I was tweeting a lot about TRVL. I don't know if I thought that I would see this kind of price action. You know, you never know. Like, you can't predict the future. But I see a lot of interest now picking up in this token. I see a lot of interest. The watch lists have gone up. I don't know if I can find them. I'll see if I can find them. They've gone up to like 7,000. Let me see if I can find it. Probably can't. One 107.1. 107.1. Doesn't have watch lists, huh? I don't know where to find them. But someone sent me an image, and the watch lists have gone up. Can you see it here? Anyway. Yeah, I've got it here actually. So someone sent me this image I'll show you. I don't know where it is though. Okay, there it is. You can't see it though, it's stupid. Copy image. Yeah, I'll just paste it here. Look at that. Someone sent me that image, so sorry, I had to copy and paste it. But here it is, look. 7,361. In December we were on 5,000, or just over like 5,500 or something. So in the last quarter we've gone up about 2,000. That's really good. That's growth as well. So the interest in this token is picking up. That's what you want. You want people to have it on their watch lists. Yeah, I think if you're looking to pick this up, wait for the price to slow down. Wait for Bitcoin to find support and then buy. Or what would be a better strategy is just put limit orders. Yeah, limit orders. And actually what you can see here, I mean, it looks like a it looks like a Head and Shoulders, right? Looks like a Head and Shoulders. But these kind of patterns are ripe to be destroyed. If you go down, find support, and then come back up, then you're going up. Yeah, it's kind of like Bitcoin. If you invalidate a bearish pattern, then the price will fly the other way. So just because it looks a little bit like a Head and Shoulders, I wouldn't get too bearish, especially when you're going right back into support. And I think the golden pocket is going to be a good place to pick this token up. It'll be the back test of this GAN. And then the other thing you could do is do a volume pool. And you can see you're coming into the value area low as well. It's slightly lower at about 6.2 cents. So the buying will start from about 7 cents through to 6.2. Is going to come into strong support. And as long as you don't take out this low, we're good. Because that's the higher low. Higher low, higher high. Just come in to make a nice higher low somewhere. And then we'll go up to make another higher high. Okay. And hopefully that will be the next impulse. Okay. And then I was looking at the Elliott waves yesterday. Look at that. I should stop drawing, you know, because sometimes it's uncanny how the price sometimes does what I want. Sometimes it doesn't. But I still have the price going down, so I don't want it to go down, but you know. I think we're seeing a correction here. I think none of this, even though it looks quite impulsive, that was your wave 3. I think this whole thing is a correction. I'm not sure. I'm not really seeing the, I mean, potentially that we've had 5 waves here, and this is the wave 5 actually. But I wasn't fond of this last bit here. And it's really hard with Elliott waves when you're in a low liquidity environment and the price moves the way it is moving now. What is possible is we did have 5 waves. Like that. That is possible. I'm not fond of that, but I mean, it's possible. And now we're in a correction. I don't know. I don't really like that last wave, to be honest with you. Did go into the golden pocket. It was a very weak 5. Possibly that was it. This whole one has been very weak, to be honest with you. Even though on a higher time frame it looks strong, I think this whole one has been very weak. And what I'll be expecting as the bull market continues is, so I'm expecting a much stronger 3, and then I'm expecting a really crazy 5. Okay, that's what I'm expecting on this token. I always thought that the 1 would be the weakest. So let me go back to my waves. Let's just say that's that. This is the 2. This 1 would be the weakest if the 3. So we have to see where the 3 gets to. The 3 has to be longer than the 1, and I'm expecting a really crazy 5. I think 5 is the one. It'd be nice to get above the 8-1 on the 3. What would be really nice is with the 3, if we can get as high as possible to get through all of this resistance, so that the next one, the 5, can be into price discovery. And I'm thinking to myself that if Bitcoin can go to higher figures, then, you know, with these tokens we can go higher. That's what I'm thinking. Right, any questions on that? Excuse me. I think it's a good idea, if you're looking to pick up this token, to set limit orders and absorb the price. That'll be really bullish if we can just exhaust the sellers, because the selling is a low volume selling. It's not heavy selling. Yeah, it's not going to take much volume to prevent the price from going down. Now, some people might be thinking to themselves, I want the price to go down because I want to get cheaper token. I think in the scale of things, when you're accumulating and when you have a higher time frame mindset, then having a flat correction is more bullish than a deep correction. Okay, so if we're all in the mindset of higher time frame accumulation, of holding or hodling until the end of the bull market, then let's try and go for flat corrections. And to get flat corrections, we have to absorb the sellers. This is low volume selling. Yeah, it won't take much in terms of limit orders to prevent the price from collapsing. Yeah, it really wouldn't take much. It's a lot healthier to have a flat correction than these kind of sudden drops and deep corrections. Zahid Shah is saying TRVL is a very risky coin. Absolutely not. It's the least riskiest coin out there. Why do you think it's risky? I'd like to hear your explanation. I can give you my explanation. We can have a conversation about that. There's no risk in my mind because of the product that they've developed, that they're building. What is the risk that you're worried about? I'd like to hear your answer. As far as I can see in the charts, we've got increasing volume, increasing prices. The charts are telling me that this is bullish, that there's increasing demand in this token, and we're experiencing some bullish patterns, an Adam and Eve pattern. This is on Bybit. Let me go back on MEX and I'll show you. Oh, 70% still locked. Okay. I'm going to address that for you. I think you have to understand what that means first. Like it, just because people in their mind think, okay, 70% still locked, therefore the value is going to decrease by 70%. Yeah. So what he's saying is 70% locked. Okay. So let's go to the website and I'm going to explain it for you. Okay. Here. This is what you're talking about. Circulating supply and total supply. Okay. So you're talking about a vesting schedule. And eventually all of this supply is going to, all of these tokens are going to come onto the supply. Okay. Well, this isn't going to happen in the bull market. Yeah. I wish I had the graph to show you. I don't. Unless I can find it. Let me see if I can find it actually. 1 second. I'm just quickly looking through Telegram to see if I can find it. So there's a it says there's a 5-year lockup. But I want to find the graph. Hold on. Because I've seen a graph and I'm just going to show you. Okay, here it is. Let me just if you're still there, let me just go to, let me change my window to Telegram. Okay, can you see that? So we're basically here. Do you see this plateau? I don't know if you can see that. I can't see it. I've opened it up. Okay, what I'm going to do is do it like this. Do it slightly different. Wait, give me a second. Let me go back to my other window. Because I want you to see this. Can you see that? Yes. So we are in this plateau now, and basically these dates were delayed by 1 year. Okay. So this is incorrect because this is the old token schedule. And we're now in this plateau. Do you see this plateau? We're in the plateau now. Do you see where the token vesting schedules goes up? That's after the bull market. So it's all delayed by a year. Okay. So at the moment, this is the 1st of July. 23. I think it's more than a year actually. So let me just go back to Telegram. Let me have a look. I'm going to show you. Okay. So here it is. So you can see it. Oh no, you probably can't. Telegram desktop. It's because I've got it open like that. How do I get it off this Telegram desktop? How annoying. Oh yeah, there it is. Close it. There. See that? So followed by a you see it says followed by a 12-month pause. Now I'm trying to get those guys to update this, yeah, but the whole schedule was delayed by 12 months, and not all unlocked tokens will enter circulating supply. And then the other thing you have to bear in mind is that when it goes into circulating supply, it's not going into circulation, it's going into either the community treasury, the community growth fund, or the foundation reserve. And those funds are going to grow the network. Yeah, the value of a token is always in the value of the network, and the growth of the network. There's a correlation between the network effect and the value of the token. And so even though you're saying, well, there's only 300 or whatever million in circulation, it's going to go up by another 700 million. First of all, if you look at the trajectory, it's not all going to happen at once. Yeah. And there's a 12-month delay. You see the 12-month pause. And most of that is going to go into the growth funds, which aren't going to be in circulation anyway. Okay. It's just the way I'm just explaining it to you. Now you might be thinking to yourself that that's not good, but let's just be realistic about most people. Most people are going to be selling towards the end of the bull market. You're not going to be holding all the way through to all of the tokens are going to be released. Okay, number one. Number two, you see, it doesn't go up to from 300 million to 1 billion overnight. And then all of that is not going into circulation. It's going into the community treasury, the foundation reserve, these two, or the community growth fund. The community growth fund is for growing the network. The community treasury is for growing the network. So as you grow the network, the value of the token is going to go up exponentially. There's an exponential relationship to the network effect and the value of any token. The really bearish part, if you want to think about bearishness, if you look at this graph, the seed sale, the strategic sale, and 1 and 2, they're already in circulation. Yeah, this green one here, this blue one here, and this yellow one here is already in circulation. There's no more tokens being released through strategic sales, through fundraising. Yeah, the ones that are going to be released are going to come into the community growth fund, which is, and the community treasury. That is going to go directly to growing the network, which is going to increase the value of the token exponentially, and proportionately but exponentially, in accordance to the network effect. And then the last one is the foundation reserve, and the foundation reserve is basically the runway, is basically to make sure that the project has longevity. And so of course at the peak of the bull run, the foundation reserve could sell some tokens to have a strategic fund for continuation, for continued developer spending and developers and growth. Okay, the last one, the one that's really bearish, if you want to think about bearish distribution, is contributors and advisors. And if you look at this graph, remember this graph is delayed by a year, so the timings on this are delayed by a year. You'll see that they're not actually getting much in the scale of things, and actually most of their reward comes much later, and well past the bull market. Yeah, it's not actually in the duration of bull market, they're not getting much. That would be bearish. If suddenly the contributors and the advisors suddenly got a lot of token just before the peak of the bull market, that would be quite bearish. But that's not correct. Your information is unfortunately incorrect. And I don't know if you have any more questions, but you're saying to me it's a risky coin. I don't see risk here, because the tokens being released are for the community growth fund, the community treasury, and that is for the growth of the network. And if you look at the tokenomics schedule, the tokenomics document that was recently published, and let me bring it up so you can see. So they've recently launched a brand new tokenomics document, and let me just find it for you somewhere. Where is it? I can find it. Why is it not on this page, huh? It should be on this page. It's probably here. Light paper, is it there? Night protocol. Okay, let me just delete that. Okay, so there it is. No wonder you couldn't find it. Here it is. TRVL tokenomics. This is a brand new tokenomics document for TRVL. Completely revised. It's not implemented yet. They're building it now. Okay, hopefully soon. They go into the explain the reasons why. Yeah, it's a light paper. They go into explaining what they're trying to do. And then they give you an image of the value. And look, this is the economy that's being built. And to fund that economy, you're going to be using the community growth fund to fund that economy, because this is how you're going to grow. But the value is in the network. The network value is going to be exponentially more valuable than tokens coming into circulation. That's what you have to understand. And this is going to grow the network. And see here, you have burning, and then you have staking. Okay. And then this, the value is going to come in from the usage of the Dtravel protocol that's built, basically. I don't see what you see. Yeah, I don't see the riskiness of what you see. What I'm seeing in the charts isn't I'm not seeing the same thing. Okay, we've made a low, we've made a second low, we're forming a bullish reversal pattern, and we've got increasing volume. When you look at Twitter and go to the Dtravel page, yeah, what do you see? It's a peer-to-peer application, vacation rental ecosystem built on Night Protocol. What is the Night Protocol? Well, this is the document you should be reading. See the Night Protocol there. So actually, let me just paste that in to... I'm going to paste this into here so you can go and do your own research. It's all there. And so what Dtravel are doing is they're solving a real world problem using Web3, and that is going to drive the usage of the solution to a real world problem is going to drive the economy, and it's called the Night Protocol. All the information is there. You can go and have a read for yourself. But more than that, what is Dtravel? Well, look, it's a decentralized physical network, which it is, because you've got vacation rental homes located all over the world. It's real world assets. Well, it is, because you're taking the value of real world transactions and you're tokenizing that value. Now, the Night Protocol describes how vacation rentals bookings or reservations are tokenized, but the tokenomics describes how the value is tokenized. So you're basically taking real world value and you're tokenizing it, and you're bringing it into a tokenized economy. And then AI, no one really knows anything about the AI. It's not obvious, but AI is one of the leading narratives in this bull market. And just wait for that. Yeah, so I'm just giving you a clue. AI is going to be a big feature of what Dtravel does going forward, but it hasn't been released yet. It's going to be released in April, i.e. this month. Yeah. It's called Sensei. So they've actually posted videos about it, but let me show you if I can find a video here. I think they posted videos. Where is it? Is there a video here? Is that it? Nope. Is that it? Nope. Maybe they haven't done the video recently. I'm sure they have. Here it is. Have a look at this video. Well, that doesn't help. What is that? Okay, there's no videos. There is a video, but I don't know where it is. No, that's not it. Oh, this is it.
Introducing Sensei, the first AI-powered travel companion that helps you discover vacation rentals that can be booked directly with owners and operators anywhere in the world. Select a profile, input your travel preferences, and Sensei AI will recommend directly bookable listings. Traveling to a new location, Sensei will narrow down the search, providing you with personalized listings that match your unique travel profile. Clicking a listing will bring you to an independently owned vacation rental site where you can complete your booking without paying commission fees. Embrace a truly peer-to-peer experience and discover listings that can be booked in fiat or cryptocurrencies. Save time and money booking vacation rentals with Sensei. Introducing Sensei.
All right. This is the AI. No one even knows about it. This is like so hidden. I'm telling you something. This is going to be big. It's going to be really big. I don't know if you're aware, but Airbnb, they acquired an AI startup for $200 million. See, look, this was just at the end of last year, November 14, 23. Airbnb acquires an AI startup for just under $200 million. Okay, and that's what Dtravel is doing. We're an AI startup, but we're more. We're Web3. We're decentralized network. We're real world assets. We're a lot more than what our value is. More than $200 million. But that's what this is what Airbnb is saying. Airbnb is valuing what we're doing at the very least $200 million. Okay. I think we're much more than that. And in the contents of a Bitcoin bull market, I think we're going to go higher. Honestly, you know, you can't predict the future. But I see that we have a Adam and Eve bottoming pattern forming. This is your V. That's your rounding bottom. This is the monthly time frame. Once we break the neckline, then I really see higher prices. And I think my minimum target is $5, but I think it all depends on Bitcoin. I think if Bitcoin can get to higher prices, and by higher prices, I mean over, who knows, like no one can predict the future. But I think Bitcoin could get up to about $300,000. Yeah. And it's not just Bitcoin, it's the whole market, the total market cap. Excuse me. So when I look at the total market cap, I have this graph, I have this channel that we're following on the higher time frame. And right now we're at $2.5 trillion. And I think we're probably going to get to $4.5 trillion. And I think if we overextend, we're going to go to $7.3 trillion. I think very possible that a token like Dtravel gets to about 10 billion this round. And that would put us at 23. That would put us about $23 to $25. That's what I think. That's what I'm thinking. It's crazy now. Like, you can't, a lot of people can't imagine what I'm imagining. Yeah. But I think once we pass the all-time high there, which is at $1.56, I think it would be very easy to get to $25. Yeah. That's what I'm imagining right now. And that would only be a $10 billion market cap token, 10 billion. Right now, it feels like a lot, but I'm talking about alt season. I'm talking about alt season where Bitcoin is pushing the highs, and also where the total crypto market cap is into the highs. Yeah. So it's hard to conceptualize now. It's hard to imagine now, but in the future, you're going to get a lot of FOMO, and you're going to get a lot of people push the prices up. So I'm looking for higher targets. And now is a really good time to accumulate TRVL. And I'm not talking about people going all in. I think people should accumulate. That's all I'm suggesting. Accumulation, long-term accumulation. And every time you look at the dips, yeah, obviously not this local price action, because this is obviously a correction. You can see there's a little bit of a correction, like a flag forming. It's not bearish, that's bullish. But when you're looking at the price action, you can see that we're making higher lows. And at the moment, we're making higher highs. Okay, so we have a trend. So I'm really bullish on this. Okay, for the next 2 years. Well, just be aware that I think the Bitcoin bull market could be quite short this time round. So I'm not thinking 2 years, I'm thinking 1 year at the moment. Okay. And I'm thinking $5 at the very least. I'm looking at $5. And so the way I come up with my targets is on the log chart, from the all-time high to the all-time low. I do a full extended log chart on the fib, full extended fib on the log chart. So you do an extension from the all-time high to the all-time low on the log chart, and it gives you the 2.272, which is at $5.1. It gives you the 1.414, which is at $9.6, and it gives you the 1.618. That would be extended at $23.4. Okay, so technically, I'm thinking if we overextend, then I'll be looking at $23, and it all depends on how far we extend. Yeah, this is the all-time high at $1.56. So I don't see a reason why we don't hit the all-time high from where we are now. So right now we're trading at 8 cents. So I don't see any reasons why we don't get to the all-time high. That's a 20x from where we are now. So I am at the very least expecting a 20x, slightly less. No, 20x, just under 20x to the all-time high. But I think if you take the all-time high, you're in price discovery. And in price discovery, the price will go up quite fast, because people who are buying at $1.5 or $6 will be holding for higher. They'll be looking for $5 or $9. Yeah. And so it becomes very, very profitable and lucrative for people who are hodling at the lows here. Yeah, if you're able to hodl from where we are now, from lower all the way up to 5 or 9 or even higher at $23, then it's going to be very profitable. It's hard to hodl. It's not easy to hodl. Yeah, and people, people get phased. When you get these corrections, it's not easy. It's not easy to hodl when you get deep corrections. Like, look, from 12 cents to where we are now, that's a 33% correction. For a lot of people, that's difficult. I think it'll be a lot easier the higher we go. Okay. I am too optimistic. No, dude, I'm not optimistic. When I look at other AI tokens, yeah, let's have a look at some AI tokens. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look at Fetch. Okay, now this is, maybe this isn't Fetch, or maybe it is. Like, every token starts off somewhere and ends up somewhere. But from Fetch, from the all-time low to where we currently are, it's up 384x. Okay, now to be fair, Fetch was launched in the last bull market, so forget about the last bull market. Let's just focus on the current bull market. Let's ignore the last bull market. It's up 54x from the all-time low. 54x. Yeah, that's just Fetch. If you look at the other one, which is Ajax, okay, again, forget about the last bull market, because obviously it was much lower. But from the current bull market, from the low to the current price, you're up 379x. When I look at TRVL, yeah, from the all-time low to the current price, we're only up 3x. Yeah, so TRVL is up 3x, and other AI tokens are up 300x or more. Nah, I think in the context, so Zahid is saying TRVL depends on inflation, economy, BTC, currency, interest rates, finance, job situation. TRVL only depends on one thing, two things, maybe three things. First and foremost, it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin is really important. It's the most important underpinning factor in the whole of the crypto markets. It's Bitcoin. Yeah. So this is the month of the halving. Bitcoin is already at the all-time high. And a lot of people are expecting Bitcoin at the very least, from where we are now, to 2x at the very least, probably up to about 120, 130, who knows exactly where, but somewhere in the low hundreds at the very least. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the narrative of the crypto market is really important. So right now, if you look at what Twitter, yeah, if you look at I don't know what Twitter you're following, but what I see is that the narratives, there's like 3 narratives right now which are trending on Twitter. Let me see if I can just scroll down on my Twitter and find. Usually I can. Apart from all the news in Russia and Israel, let me see if I can find something very easy to find. Usually I can. Look here, look, this is one. AI. The AI industry has immense potential. You see that? So that's one of the narratives that I always see on my Twitter feed. And then the other narrative I see is something else. Let me just see if I can find it. See this? RWA, real world assets. Okay. And then the last one, I probably won't find it now because I'm not that lucky to get 3 in a row, but it's a decentralized physical network. So you've got 3 narratives that are trending, but actually I think the biggest one is going to be AI. And then the second biggest one is real world assets. And then BlackRock, there was an article, let me find it for you. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. Have a look at this. I'll post it in for you. You see that? BlackRock's $10 trillion tokenization vision, the future of real world assets. You see that? You can read the article. I just posted it. Have a look. Okay. So BlackRock has only just begun. This is not the end. This is the beginning. The Bitcoin ETF is the beginning. Anyone who's involved in crypto isn't just looking at Bitcoin and ignoring the rest. They're looking at Bitcoin as the beginning, and then now they're looking to take over the whole of the crypto. It's like the internet. You don't just go, Google is the internet, let's forget about all the other companies out there and social medias and applications. You don't just go into the App Store and say, I'm only going to use this app and I'm going to ignore the other tens and thousands of apps on the App Store. You know, when you're looking to be an investor, you'll be looking at a portfolio of different apps based on different narratives that are emerging in the market. Okay, so real world asset tokenization is one of the narratives, and you see here BlackRock has a vision for real world asset tokenization, and Dtravel is tokenizing travel. Does that make sense? The recession and the future. Well, look, you're talking about a future recession. There's a couple of things that are going to happen. I'm going to try this here. Now you can see me. There's a couple of things that are going to happen. Firstly, we're in the elections. This is an election year in America. So it's quite a big year. And in an election year, and also just after the election year, usually what happens is the markets rally. Please educate me if someone purchased a coin and the coin went down 40%, in this case, DCA is the best strategy or something else. It depends on the coin, actually, and it depends on how much capital you have, and it depends on your higher time frame strategy and your horizon. Your time horizon really makes a difference and really matters. So let me show you. You must understand that we're in a bull market now. So it's a lot easier to buy in a bull market. This is TRVL, and a dollar cost averaging strategy through the whole of this bear market wouldn't have worked. Yeah, it's not going to work because the price hasn't bottomed out. Okay, you have to wait for the price to bottom out. Once the price bottoms out, you know, then it will work. You get 30%, 40% pullbacks. You can just continue dollar cost averaging into the lows. Your dollar costing average into the pullbacks. That will work. Yeah. So your time horizons really does matter. And also what matters is how much capital you have on the side. Because if you're all in and you don't have much, then you're going to struggle. Okay. Dan, hi, how's it going? Of course, I'm going to have a look at it. Give me a second. So I think it really, what you have to be thinking about, like when I'm looking at TRVL, I'm telling people don't just buy, wait for the price to stop and look to accumulate at the good areas. And that will be, you can dollar cost average in because as the price slows down, you can dollar cost average in. That's not a bad idea. Right now on TRVL, you're getting it 33% cheaper than the local high, but a good place to really, but the best place to buy it, as far as I can see, is probably between 6.2 and 7 cents, you know, and that's going down to 6.2. You're down another 23%. The best way to do it in this situation is to place limit orders or wait until you hit your target and then start buying. Okay, I don't know, every token is slightly different. And the other thing about dollar cost averaging is that you're not dollar cost averaging just on price. It's about dollar cost averaging is also based on time. Yeah, scaling isn't just based on price, it's also based on time. If the price moves from $10 to $5 in one day and you scale in based on price, you're going to be in trouble, because if it goes down in one day to $5 and you've just scaled in based on price just in that same day, what if the price continues going down? Yeah, what you need to do is scale in based on time. That's really, it's more important than price in most cases, because then you're getting the average price over time. Yeah, so a lot of people don't consider time when they thinking about dollar cost averaging. Time is potentially more important than price when you're dollar cost averaging. So when you're looking at the weekly time frame on USDT versus TRVL versus USDT, it wasn't just about price, it was also about timing. And here you can see the weekly red candles are good places to the close of the weekly red candles will always give you the best entry here. So it isn't just about price, it's about time. Yeah, and the time, according to what I'm suggesting here, is the weekly red candles. You have the best price at the best time. It's a combination of the two. Does that make sense? And then when you're scaling in, you're buying the same amount at the same time. You're not suddenly going, oh, the price is 50% cheaper, I need to buy more. It's always the same. That's called dollar cost averaging. So you end up with a good average. Okay. Yeah, there's different strategies for doing it, and it's never going to work if you don't have capital on the side. Yeah, if you're all in, it's never going to work. None of your strategies are going to work if you're all in. So that's something to note. All right, Dan, let me have a look at this quickly for you. You know what I want to do actually is I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison, because I haven't done this in a while. And I'm just going to see if I see anything interesting. Not Bitcoin. That would be nice, huh? There is a correlation. I'll show you. Ignore these yellow lines. This is the KuCoin chart. So let me actually go to KuCoin. They're both from KuCoin. Let me get rid of this scan. So the different strategies that you can use would be this. I think first and foremost, you can see that they're following each other. Against Bitcoin, it went sideways here, and the USDT price went down. Then they went down together. They went up together. And then they went down together, except on the Tether, it went down less than on Bitcoin. See that? Bitcoin, it went down much more. But in terms of the movement, they went down together. And now, as we're ascending, you can see that they're going up together. Okay. So, to all intents and purposes, they're similar, except that against Bitcoin, during this sell-off where Bitcoin was rallying earlier last year, we TRVL lost a lot more value. Yeah, it sold off more, but as far as I can see, the charts are very similar. Okay, they're very similar charts. That's just an observation. Okay, and the question was, I'm looking to convert some BTC to TRVL. Okay, so the question really is, do you convert it to TRVL when TRVL is on Bitcoin support, or do you convert it to TRVL when TRVL is on USDT support? That's the real question. Do you look at the USDT chart and then use your BTC to convert, or do you do it based on the Bitcoin chart? Just focusing on the Bitcoin chart. That's a tricky question. Because I know on the Bitcoin chart, sometimes it ignores support lines. That's the problem. So what I'm seeing is, like, you could have bought, at any point in time that you bought Bitcoin, TRVL at the point of control would have been good. Yeah. And for the last how many weeks, look how many times we've come back into the point of control and the price has reacted off it, all the way to when we closed above the point of control at the 8th of January. The point of control has basically been the best place to accumulate. But what I'm also seeing is I'm seeing buying and selling, buying and selling. I'm seeing a lot of trading. Yeah. And then the price range is quite high. It's about 50%. So from TRVL to the highs of this mini range, it's up and down 50%, 50%, 50%. It's quite volatile. Whereas if you look at the USDT chart, it's not as volatile. The USDT price is going up. Okay. We just have to look at the 3-day chart. See if there's any difference. I still think you want to get it on the point of control. I don't know if it's possible. You've got this really powerful wick into the lows like this, closed higher. It'd be very weird to go back down like that, but as far as I can tell, that's really where you want to catch TRVL. That would be the best price. Yeah. It doesn't really matter about if you're just trying to convert from BTC to TRVL, it doesn't really matter about this price, does it? You're only really focused about catching this price at the best price, and at the moment this is the best price. So let me just focus in on that. Oh, I've got this scan. No, that's rubbish. A good place to sell is when we come into this monthly level up there. That's at about 4,000 or so sats. If and when we get there, and I think I've marked off this 3 monthly level as well, which is at 2,135 sats. Good places to sell back into Bitcoin when you're going up, on the way up. There is this GAN fan that seems to be reacting. We just do these volume levels because I get frustrated having to redo these every time. It's annoying. Why isn't it drawing? That's interesting. Okay. Did I not do volume before? Oh, I did, yeah. There they are. Okay. So the value area low is higher. Wow. That's that's interesting. That's really bullish, huh? What do you see this? You see how we have the previous volume area and now it's higher. So that's really bullish what I'm just seeing now. And the volume area is slightly higher. The value area is slightly higher. The point of control is exactly the same place, but for the value area to come up is really bullish because now everyone who accumulated down at 600 or so sats is relatively speaking very safe because they're outside the low of the value area low. So the value area has actually increased in value. That's what I'm seeing. This high volume node is still there. It's still relevant. And then what I did before was these ranges. Very rough. And so I think we're in this middle range now. We've cleared these lower two ranges. It's very messier, but it was a very messy analysis. So we're in this possibly a good place to pick it up if we get back down would be about 1,000 or so sats, 1,024 through to the point of control, which is 46 probably. But you see we have this high volume node here as well. Sometimes those high volume nodes are good places. Like I always think a high volume node is not a bad place. And if you can see, there is a little bit of reaction, and here you can see there's a little bit of support. So if we do come back down, it is possible we find a little bit of support, or at the very worst case we could come down there. And then again, of course, if we go all the way down to the point of control is definitely going to be the best place to pick up BTC. Yeah, so you've got a few areas just based on volume at about 1,070, between 1,027 and 1,077, and then all the way down at 849. Anywhere down here would be amazing because you're really in a strong area. It's like the point of control and the value area low, but it would look bearish, but it would be a really good place to pick it up. And I think if this scan fan is in play, which it looks like, we're coming into resistance still. Eventually what we want to see is we want to flip that into support, the high volume node into support for continuation. Then we're coming to the next level of interest, which is going to be slightly higher, I think. Probably there. We may react again off this scan line, but hopefully we'll go up into the value area high. And I think that will be a good place to that 2,000 or 2,100 to take profit back into BTC and see what happens. Eventually, what we want for the price is to go up, find support above the value area high, and then we can have continuation. That's eventually what we want. Just bear in mind that I think Sensei and the Travel app are going to be launched this month. Yeah, and I don't know what that means. No one can predict the future price action, but I'm desperately trying to sell a property really quickly now because I want to buy more. It's a race against time because like we're at 8 cents now. I'd love to buy a whole bunch at 8 cents. I would love that. So this is the 3-month candle BTC. I mean, it closed here, like there is a level there, you see. That's the dividing line. I think once you clear it and get above it, that will be your kind of support line. Now we're just pulling back for liquidity, I think. How far do we go? Really what we need to do is we need to take out that high, actually. That'll be an all-time high. We need to go up there, take out the high, make a higher low, and complete an inverse head and shoulders pattern for a breakout. That's all we need to do. And then your target would be from the neckline to the head, and that would be about 61,000 or so sats from the current price. That's a 51x on Bitcoin, 51x on Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin, it all depends then on the value of Bitcoin, because if you can 51x on Bitcoin, it all depends on Bitcoin's value then. That would be your target. There you got a 2-to-1 extension. I think that if you form a higher time frame inverse head and shoulders, I would be looking for a 2-to-1, a 1-to-2 rather. It would make sense, and you'd be in price discovery as well, and that would peak in alt season. That would be a 50x from the current price on Bitcoin. So 50x on the current price, I'll tell you. We're at 8 cents now. Times 50. That would be $4. That's just a 50x on the current price. But this is a 50x on the Bitcoin price. So depending on Bitcoin, if Bitcoin, where Bitcoin is at 70,000, if Bitcoin 2x's, then actually you're looking at 100x. But if Bitcoin goes up much higher, so it all depends on the price of Bitcoin. If the Bitcoin goes up from 70 to 280, like a 4x, and you're doing a 50x on Bitcoin, then that's a 50x. That's a 200x on the current price, which is 8 cents. That will put us at about $16. So then it will totally depend on Bitcoin. But if we do form some kind of inverse head and shoulders, I would be expecting to get to the 1-to-2 on that pattern. But obviously at every level you'd be looking to take profit. You wouldn't just necessarily hodl. Probably at the 1.618 you'd be looking to take your major profit, and then if you get a runner, then you get a runner. And actually I can't see any like higher time frame Elliott waves here yet either, so we haven't had that kind of Elliott waves against Bitcoin yet. I can't see it. Nope, none of this is Elliott waves. So I'd like to see that actually. That, for me, that would be a lot more pertinent to see Elliott waves against Bitcoin, to see 5 waves against Bitcoin. All right, don't know if that helped. Hi Jayway, how's it going? Amir, you are not seeing a big correction near future when everyone is bullish and greed is high.